First and foremost, you want everybody to come out healthy. Worst thing you could have is have guys come out, key guys come out of training camp injured. So first and foremost, you want everybody to come out healthy. You want us to really grasp and be on the same page with what we're doing this year and what we're trying to accomplish, and everybody to understand their roles and go out there and have the ability to execute it.
Is there some message, motto that the D-line or style of play that you guys are trying to embody since you're right at the front of that defense and have so much pedigree there?
We're not worried about the pedigree. We're not worried about the potential. That's what people say about a group who hasn't done too much. As defensive linemen, our job is to go out there and stop the run with the light box and affects the quarterback. So that's what we're working towards every day. And we're going to go out there and play to the best of our God-given ability.
Jon, when you guys have a quarterback, I know this is the other side of the ball, but you got a quarterback like Carson Wentz. What does that, just the talent he's shown, all that, and the numbers he put up in the league, what does that do for both sides of the ball? Does it do anything for you guys?
As a defense, when you have a guy like Carson Wentz, our job is to get him the ball back as many times as we can throughout the course of the game. So we understand what our offense can do, and it's on us to hold up our end of the bargain.
There's been obviously a lot of attention around him the last couple of years, a couple of trades and all that. When someone like that comes in, what questions do you have, and what have you seen from him since he's been here?
I really don't need to ask him any questions. What he does on a day-to-day basis will tell me everything I need to know about him. He came in, he worked, he involved himself with the team, and he's exactly what we want from a quarterback. So I have no questions. I know a lot of the times the media doesn't really get the full story, only the story that some people portray. So I'm not worried about what the media says. I'm worried about what I see with my own eyes, and he's given me no reason to doubt him at all.
In the last couple of years, it's been COVID stuff and maybe who's the quarterback questions. How nice is it to have a camp where there's not a whole lot of that drama kind of surrounding you guys?
One thing about the NFL is every day can change, so I'm not worried about the drama because at the end of the day, that doesn't really affect me. Yes, it affects me when I come up here and I answer questions, but for the most part, my day-to-day work, the questions, the drama, none of that affects me because at the end of the day, I got a job to do, and we get paid to do it. That's why we're professionals. So the outside noise doesn't really affect me personally. I would like to assume that it doesn't affect most of the guys out there because we're all professionals and we know how to handle our business.
Competition around here, too. A lot of the positions seem to be set. Is that helpful as a team to kind of know who your kind of starting unit is, even if there's some competition here and there?
I think it can be helpful to help build that chemistry, but I think competition is really good. I think it's really good if everybody on this team and on this defense knows that you're one snap away, you're one bad play away, you're one bad game or one bad year from being replaced. So every year you're fighting for your spot, no matter what position you're in. Just got a contract, been in the league for 6-7 years. There's always someone who's trying to take your job, and you got to understand that.
Hey, Jonathan. Craig Lober, Wavy TV 10 in Norfolk. One of the guys behind you was Jamin Davis, who, like a first-round pick like yourself, has taken that second-year leap. Is there something to that second year that tends to click for players when you get out there? Does it slow down? And what do you hope to see out of Jamin playing behind you this year?
I mean, rookie year is tough. You come in, you're being thrown into a new city, new teammates, new organization. You're asked to pick something up quickly. And as a first-round pick, you're expected to go out there and immediately make an impact. And I think that's a lot. And obviously, I don't think he had the year that he wanted to have, but all you can do is bust your balls and work every single day to improve as a player. And he's done that. So I just want him to give me everything he got. I mean, at the end of the day, if you give me everything you got, I can live with whatever the results are.
Athletically, does he tend to flash a lot of times? He might not have had the results, but those flashes,
Flashes all the time. I mean, he runs a 4.3, 4.4, 40-inch vert. I mean, he has everything you want.
Jon, when you get into the grind, do you have time for big picture goals like playoffs and that kind of stuff? Does that come up, or are you too involved in the play-to-play, day-to-dayness?
I mean, we all know what we're working for. We're not going to act like we don't think about it. We understand that the goal is to win the division and move on through the playoffs. But before you can get to that goal, you got to work out what's ahead of you. We understand we got to take it day by day. You can't worry about the playoffs, even though that is the main goal. Or not the main goal, one of our goals to accomplish what we want to accomplish, and that's winning the Super Bowl. But you don't get there. You don't get to your goals by focusing on your goal every day. You get to your goals by every day. You take another step forward, and you continue to grind and focus on the task at hand.
I know you're not an outside noise guy, a social media guy, but yesterday Ron was saying that sometimes, like, the drama that seems to follow this team on and off the field throughout the years, like, does sometimes make his job harder. Do you see that affecting your teammates? And as a leader, how do you then respond or address that?
It doesn't make my job harder. My job is to play double teams and sack the quarterback. Coach Rivera is the leader of this team, so he has to deal with that stuff. I don't have to deal with that. I get asked questions about it, but I can always defer and I can always move on. Coach doesn't have that ability. He has to answer and he has to take these problems head on. So when outside noise does happen, it does affect him more. But when I get criticized on Twitter or when you guys bring it to me, in one ear, out the other, I don't care. I'm here to play football. And I'm not going to let anything that happens outside of here stop me from doing that.
Are you excited to get back on the field and kind of get back to focusing on, the goal of making the playoffs going forward?
Very excited. Very excited.
Jon, how do you know when good habits are being built during the course of a run-up to a season? And conversely, how do you know when bad habits are seeping in and you try to squash them?
The eye in the sky doesn't lie. When you turn on the film and you see the little things not being done right, well, bad things are being formed, as opposed to when you see good things, good little things happening, you know that we're doing the right thing. We got to continue to do that. Running off the field, running to the ball, playing well, practicing well. Just some of the stuff that goes into having a successful season.
How does someone learn to live with the results if the process is good?
Coach Saban would always say, as long as you give 100%, you can always live with the results. The times you can't live with it is when you don't give 100%, because you'll always be questioning, what if? But every time I go out on the field, now I'm not perfect, I understand that. I try to give 100%. And as long as I do that, I might not be happy with the results, but I can live with them.
Are you still in touch with Coach Saban on a pretty regular basis?
I don't like to bother him. I know he has a lot going on, but I did go down there and visit Alabama for the spring game and spend some time talking to him. So, I mean, I want to say we talk regularly, but anytime I'm in Alabama, I do make a conscious effort to go and see him and just talk to him. I was in more contact with him my first 2 years. I would call him up, ask him advice, and he would always answer.
All right, thanks, Jon.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Jon, can you do one more?
Yeah.
Jon, you're wearing the Guardian cap. Do you notice it when you're practicing? Do you feel it at all?